I'm in Doha at Hamad International Airport. I've just made my way through the premium business class check-in. I'm about to check out the new Mourjan Garden lounge before taking my Qsuite flight to Amsterdam. Let's check it out.
It's an early start for me this morning. Having just spent a great weekend in Doha, I'm on my way to Hamad International Airport. Departure entrance number 1 is dedicated for first and business class passengers, so I hopped out here and made my way inside to the premium check-in area. I'm heading left today towards the Mourjan business class counters, where there was absolutely zero wait to be seen and plenty of staff on hand. There are sofas to the side in case you do need to wait, but I just made my way straight through the separate security lane and into the main terminal area. I said hi to the lamp bear, and since we're visiting the new Mourjan Garden lounge, I jumped onto the SkyTrain towards the sea gates. Once you get to the orchard area of the airport, which I think looks amazing, it means you've gone too far. The entrance to the lounge is discreet and not well signposted. You can find it behind the Louis Vuitton shop by these lifts. Up one floor and into the lounge, I'm greeted by staff and welcomed to the Mourjan Business Lounge, the Garden. The first thing you see straight ahead is the Louis Vuitton lounge. This is a lounge within a lounge, which I'll have a look at later, but for now, I'll explore the main lounge, which is split into the east and west sections. I'll check out the east wing first to order some breakfast from the dining area. There's regular table seating, sofas, and bar-style high tables. I sat down in one of the high chairs and ordered eggs Benedict with asparagus, which sorted my cravings, and a glass of champagne to sort my other cravings. Now, let's have a look around. Towards the far end of the east side is a cocktail bar serving wines, beers, spirits, and of course, cocktails. There's also a games room behind the frosted door with table football, a pool table, and 2 PS5s with big screens. A luggage room for storing your bags while in the lounge. A locker can be requested by asking the staff, and a keycard is provided to lock and unlock it. Leaving the eastern side and going back past the LV lounge takes you to the west side. First up, there's a small carpeted area just before the self-serve drinks bar with soft drinks, juices, water and coffee. Of course, there's an ice bucket with wines, champagnes and beers behind. The space then opens up to reveal this long water feature with seating on either side. Not quite as impressive as the water feature in the South Lounge, but probably more space efficient. The seating on the edges overlook the orchard, and pretty much all seats have USB-A, Type-G power sockets, and wireless charging available. For a touch more privacy, there are these semi-private pods on the side. Further down is another staffed counter with drinks and light bites available. And behind this are some partitioned off working areas with desks. At the very back is another branded section, the Dior Spa. You can get treatments here for an extra cost. Back to the standard features. The toilets in the lounge are always kept spotless and have small hand towels available, which I like. Showers are available to book from this desk, and unlike the South Lounge, you won't be waiting for ages. There are 24 showers available in both the men and women's section here. Although, unlike the South showers, these rooms are smaller and without a toilet. Regardless, they're perfectly fine, stocked with diptyque miniatures, and have both a rainfall and handheld shower. Another place you can book on a first come first served basis is the quiet rooms. 24 of these are available too, and inside you have a recliner chair with a blanket, a small table with a stool, and still and sparkling water at room temperature, and also refrigerated. Lights can be switched off for when you want to sleep. And couples rooms are available as well with 2 recliners. There is meant to be a gym opening at some point as well, but this was still closed, even on a more recent visit. Right, that's pretty much everything. So with the lounge tour out of the way, I'm going to enjoy a glass of champagne while I wait for my flight to start boarding. Oh, and if you're wondering about the LV lounge, it's exclusively for Qatar Privilege Club Gold or Platinum members and Louis Vuitton VIP customers. Inside is a restaurant with subtle LV branding throughout, run by a 3 Michelin star chef with an a la carte as well as taster menu available for an extra cost. Unfortunately, I don't have the time or money for such luxuries, so I made my way to the gate. I made my way back towards the B gates and walked to gate B8, where my flight to Amsterdam was departing from today. I made use of the separate priority boarding queue and onto the 777-300ER using the separate jet bridge for business class customers. I'm at the very front of the Qsuite cabin today in seat 1K, a rear-facing window seat. The seat comes with a small pillow, and the side table has the amenity kit, blanket, and another pillow. It's great to be back in Qsuite, as my last flight had an aircraft swap at the last minute to the old school seat in the 222 config. I got comfortable, and the crew was shortly with me to hand out the food and drinks menus and take my order for a pre-departure beverage. Champagne was my drink of choice to get things started, and this came with a cold scented towel to freshen up before takeoff. The crew made a final pass through the cabin to take the meal orders and asked when I would like to eat. This is because Qatar operates a dine-on-demand concept, which means you can have the meal service at any point in the flight, which is useful if you're trying to align your body clock with the time zone. For me, however, I requested to eat straight after takeoff. Speaking of, it was time for pushback, and we started taxiing towards the runway, with nice views of other aircraft on the way. We turned onto runway 34L and started our ascent into the skies, passing over the Pearl on the way up. After takeoff, the crew offered me more champagne, which was served alongside a small bowl of warmed mixed nuts. I enjoyed these and sipped on my champagne until the food was ready and my table was set. The tablecloth and napkin came first, followed by the salt, pepper, vinaigrette and butter plate, the signature Qatar Airways table candle, artisan bread basket, water glass, and finally the amuse-bouche. This was a prawn salad with mint oil today. Down in one bite and ready for the rest. Next up was the soup of the day, roasted butternut squash soup. This went down a treat and was followed by my appetizer, quinoa crusted seared tuna with tara masalata. This was a choice of one of 2 appetizers, with the other being the classic Arabic meze. There's a choice of one of 4 mains, and I opted for the grilled Angus beef fillet served with mashed potatoes and vegetables. This tasted great, and the sauce definitely helped with the dryness you usually get in airplane steaks. The cheese plate was next, with a selection of different cheeses and a bowl of crackers to go with it. The crew recommended I pair this course with a glass of port, so of course I happily obliged. Finally, to finish things up, something sweet. There are 3 choices for the dessert course, and I went for the fresh berries with orange syrup to drizzle on top. These did taste fresh, since typically I find that fruit in the sky is usually a bit hard, so it was a great way to finish this amazing meal service, with another glass of champagne. The crew cleaned up the table, and I closed my suite door for a bit of privacy. I've got to say before moving on, the Qatar business class meal service rivals many airlines' first class food offering, is really impressive and is definitely industry leading. Now, let's check out what's inside the Diptyque branded leather amenity kit. An eau de toilette, body lotion, face cream, lip balm, and a pair of socks. I seem to be having bad luck with missing items in my amenity kits recently. There should be an eye mask and earplugs here too, but this isn't anything the crew wouldn't be able to fix. The bag itself is pretty nice, and I actually use it as my toiletries bag for shorter trips. Shaving kits, toothbrushes, and toothpaste are all available in a drawer in any of the 4 toilets in the business class cabin. The toilets themselves have got this wood grain paneling around the mirror with vanity lights. The sink is large, with Diptyque hand soap and lotion available. The actual space is pretty large for a plain toilet. You wouldn't have any trouble getting changed into your pajamas here on a night flight. And there's a big large mirror covering the other wall, if the sink one wasn't big enough. Back at my seat, I decided to make up my bed, since I'd only slept a few hours the previous night. A mattress topper isn't provided on day flights, which would have been nice, but the 2 pillows and blanket did the job just fine for a quick nap. I got into bed, feet go into the cubbyhole, which is okay range of motion wise, closed my suite door, and closed the 3 window shades. Good night. Or morning. I woke up having managed to get a few hours of sleep in and worked up a bit of an appetite. There's no formal pre-landing meal on this flight, but since it's dine on demand, I ordered the brunch platter from the light options menu. And yes, that is another glass of champagne you see. Cheers. The platter consists of tropical fruits, roast beef, tuna tataki, a samosa, scrambled eggs with vegetables, and an almond orange tart. It was nice having a small mix of different foods, and this definitely hit the spot. We're getting closer to our destination, so let's do a quick seat tour. To start with, I love the seat design and style, with small touches like the stitching in the leather, which just make it feel more premium. Straight ahead is a 21.5-inch screen with Qatar's Oryx One system. The remote is under the side table, along with international and USB-A charging sockets, the headphone port, and a HDMI port if you want to display your own content, which is pretty cool. Just above that are the seat controls with a do not disturb button, light switch, preset seating positions, and individual seating adjustments. There's a small reading light by your head, dual air nozzles above, and a storage area by your side with a water bottle and the headphones inside. This can also be lifted to make an armrest. The cubby hole is under the screen, and the pull-out table is in between, which is used for dining and is also a good surface to get some work done. Of course, there's the sliding suite door, but even when it's open, the seat is still fairly private, especially if your neighbor has theirs closed. The flight was almost over, so I chilled a bit on my phone and enjoyed one last glass of champagne. The crew passed through the cabin with a final refreshing towel, and they also dropped off a small box of Swiss chocolates to finish up an excellent flight. With that, we're on the final approach to Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Now would be a good time to talk about what I paid for this experience. I booked this flight via British Airways using a partner redemption on Qatar Airways for 43,000 avios and £87.80 in taxes. Not bad considering the cash price for this flight can often reach over $3,000 for a one-way ticket. Qatar Airways remains one of my favourite airlines with such a great experience on the ground and on board. The new Mourjan Garden lounge is a great space which nicely complements the existing South Lounge. I love how it overlooks the orchard and everything is maintained to such a high standard. The Qsuite seat and the privacy it affords you sets it apart from other business seats, and the dining experience is one of the best in the skies for business class in my opinion. Let me know what you think of the Garden Lounge and Qsuite in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more. Till next time.